Let me ask you something. What if almost everything you think you know about artificial intelligence is wrong? This book argues that AI isn't some abstract code floating around in the cloud. No, it's a physical, industrial beast built on hidden extraction and designed to serve the powerful. It's a reality we're just not meant to see.
So this is the big idea in Kate Crawford's Atlas of AI. I mean, what a statement, right? It's designed to make you just stop and think. If AI isn't artificial and it's not intelligent, then what in the world have we actually built? And what is it really doing?
You know the story we're all sold? AI is this clean, weightless brain just humming away in the cloud. But the reality? Oh, it's messy, it's dirty, and it is very, very real. It's a physical industry that's literally dug out of the earth, pieced together by human hands, and built to serve very specific interests.
So how exactly are we all getting fooled by this illusion? To get it, we actually have to go back in time, over a century ago, to a story about a very, very clever horse.
Get this, back in the late 1800s, a horse named Hans became a European superstar. He could supposedly do math, tell time, even spell out words just by tapping his hoof. To thousands of people, he was a thinking, reasoning animal, an absolute marvel. But here's the catch. It was all a trick. When someone asked Hans, say, what's 2 plus 3, Hans would start tapping. The human asking the question would tense up, totally unconsciously, just waiting for the right answer. And as soon as Hans tapped 5 times, the person would relax, maybe shift their posture just a tiny bit. And that was the cue for Hans to stop. He wasn't doing math, he was just a genius at reading human body language. The intelligence people saw was just a mirror reflecting their own expectations. And that brings us to a huge, kind of scary question. What if our modern AI systems, the ones that seem so incredibly brilliant, are also just a more advanced version of clever hands? What if they're just reflecting what we want to see, while all the real mechanisms are hidden from view? What if we're the ones giving them all the answers without even realizing it?
So, the Atlas of AI argues that behind this big magic trick, there are 3 vast, hidden pillars, and once you see them, you'll never look at this technology the same way again.
Okay, takeaway number 1 is all about the physical cost. We call it the cloud, which sounds so clean and weightless, right? But that's a lie, a dangerous one, because the reality is the total opposite. Every single part of the AI industry, the phone in your pocket, the laptop on your desk, the servers powering this very moment, is born from violent extraction. We're talking about lithium ripped from desert salt flats for batteries, and mountains of fossil fuels burned just to power these incredibly energy-hungry data centers.
And get this, it's not just the hardware. The software has a huge physical footprint. One study found that training just one large AI model can pump out over 660,000 pounds of carbon dioxide. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire lifetime emissions of 5 cars, all for one training run.
This process of extraction is enormous, but it doesn't stop with the planet. It extends to people in ways that are deliberately kept out of sight.
And that brings us to pillar number 2, the hidden human army required to make AI seem intelligent. We're sold this myth of full automation, right? Machines that just work. But the reality is something the author Astra Taylor calls fautomation.
Fautomation. It's a fantastic word, isn't it? It's the illusion of a seamless machine that's actually being propped up day in and day out by a global workforce of people doing tiny, repetitive digital tasks. They are the ghosts in the machine.
And you see this everywhere. It's the millions of Mechanical Turk workers in the background, getting paid pennies to label the images that train AI to see. It's the human operators secretly fixing the weird responses from your AI chatbot, and sometimes it's even you. Every time you click on all the squares with a traffic light to prove you're not a robot. Yeah, you're actually training Google's self-driving car AI for free. So, okay, we have this insane extraction from the planet and this massive exploitation of people. And that leads to the most important question of all: what is it for? What is actually being built with all this raw material and human effort? And this leads us to the third and honestly the most crucial takeaway. Artificial intelligence is not a neutral tool, not even close. It is an instrument of power. It's an entire infrastructure designed to see, to interpret, and to shape the world in a way that benefits the powerful. Crawford puts it perfectly. AI is a registry of power. Think about that.
It doesn't just find patterns in the world, it imposes them. It doesn't just see the world as it is, it remakes it in a very particular image.
At its absolute core, AI really only does one thing. It classifies. It puts things into boxes. It takes the messy, beautiful, infinite complexity of our world and it slices it up into neat little categories that a machine can understand. But the act of drawing those boxes, of deciding who or what gets labeled and how, is an intensely political act.
And this isn't just theory. For example, the famous ImageNet dataset, which has been used to train thousands of AI models, was found to be labeling images of people with offensive, absurd stereotypes like loser or kleptomaniac. We see systems today that claim they can detect if you're a criminal just from your face, which is just a high-tech version of the totally discredited pseudoscience of phrenology. These aren't just mistakes or bugs. They are classifications that absorb and then amplify existing social biases, and then they stamp them with the authority of objective science.
So all of this forces us to completely reframe the problem, right? For years, the whole conversation in tech has been about fixing AI bias or making these systems just a little bit fairer. But what if that's the wrong conversation entirely?
The book brings up this incredible quote from the poet Audre Lorde, who famously said, "The master's tools will never dismantle the master's house." And that's the point. If AI and its very DNA, from the minerals it's made of, to the labor it runs on, to the categories it enforces, is a tool for concentrating power, can it ever really be used to make the world more just? And this leads to the final, crucial point of the whole book. The question isn't, how can we make AI fairer? The real question is, given what it's made of and what it's designed to do, where should we refuse to use it at all? In our courts? In our schools? In our social lives? Where does this tool simply not belong? That's the question we're left with.